All right, sounds good. Let's get started here. Hello, everyone. This is our final presentation for our project that we have been working on since the beginning of the semester. Our project was through the Benton County Youth Coalition, which was founded in Warsaw, Missouri. The Benton County Youth Coalition is an organization focused on reducing and then ending the ongoing national issue surrounding teens and adolescents on the use of drugs and alcohol at such a young age. We are the team tasked with helping our client, Lauren Wetzel, with finding new ways to help end this issue, as well as generating more focus from community leaders and the local government on the issues that these children face in today's world. Through our efforts, we hope to be a part of a group that creates instant change as well as impacts the future that will help end this issue. So we'll go through our group introductions. I am Ryan Rahoy. I was the client relations manager. I am getting my major in business management, and I am minoring in political science.
My name is Luke Looney. I'm from Leawood, Kansas. For my bachelor in finance with an emphasis in real estate. I'm getting my minor in economics, and I was the marketing manager.
My name is Chase Medley. I'm from Farmington, Missouri. I'm pursuing my Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, emphasis in management, and I was our team survey researcher.
My name is Kendrick Scott. I'm from Springfield, Missouri. I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Now as our digital media manager, which entailed just digital and graphic elements of our project and some PowerPoints for our presentations.
My name is John Hurley. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm seeking a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with an emphasis of finance and banking. And my role for this group was the data analyst.
My name is Tyler Potoff. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm getting my Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with an emphasis in marketing. And my role was event planner.
Muted. Sorry about that. My name is Grant Wall. I'm a junior from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm currently pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, emphasis in finance, minoring in economics, also pursuing a risk management insurance certificate. And for our group, I was the survey planner.
Once again, this has been a multi-week project that has allowed us to work with Lauren Wetzel. Lauren is the founder of this organization who has put in all of his efforts to make his own community steer away from this issue. The organization has its roots starting in Warsaw, Missouri, close to the Lake of the Ozarks. From its founding in 2011 to this day, Lauren has been constantly working to grow this organization, and with new grants from the government, he hopes to continue this growth. And with the use of events and faith, Lauren has been able to create a strong organization that has benefited its community greatly. Over the years, Lauren has been getting help with more really creating a difference in the Warsaw area. And so in this presentation, you will see the findings we have been able to generate throughout these weeks, which has helped us give us insight on why this has become such a massive issue. We will also talk about the ideas we have generated and why they will help impact this community, as well as some ideas surrounding the website Lauren has created previously. So the overall problem that our group faced for this project was the overwhelming drug and alcohol use that these children face. Our client, Lauren, he gave us 3 specific goals for this project that would be beneficial to him and his organization. Those 3 being to help generate surveys focused around gaining more information on drug and alcohol use, creating new ideas to add on to an existing website, and formulating event ideas or other ways to bring the community together and away from drug and alcohol use on weekends specifically. Lauren himself has said that the weekends are the biggest days that these children will indulge in these activities that involve drugs and alcohol. So creating events on those days will have its biggest impacts. So the outline of this presentation, it will consist of our project overview leading to our findings and research used to give us an idea on how big this issue is and how we can use that data to create new events and other ideas. It will then lead to the impact of our findings and the limitations we faced, and then that will continue on to the solutions we have, as well as recommendations that could positively affect the Warsaw community. And at the end, we would go over a final conclusion over what we have discussed throughout this presentation.
So beginning with our project overview, we're looking forward to what our client is looking for. So Benton County Youth Coalition, they're looking for solutions to minimize their youth binge drinking and doing drugs. Some of our goals were to create new activities for these at-risk youth that not only involve the youth, but also parents and guardians. And we want to create surveys that can help identify problems and give feedback not only to our client, but to the youth as well. And we want to provide ideas that can update their social media system, such as their website and Instagram. So some steps we did to achieve these goals. We assigned roles to each member of the group, such as the client relations manager, digital media manager, marketing manager, event manager, data analyst, survey researcher, and survey planner. And we did proficient research on Benton County's youth. And we also wanted to understand the background of Benton County. We needed to learn about the background of Benton County, such as cultural differences and diversification of Benton County. And we also needed to look into the poverty rates of Benton County to see what we were working with. And we needed to listen to our client. Lauren provided us a great outlook whenever we first started this project, and that really helped us get a little head start. So the timeline of the project, it was a semester-long project, and we had to work with our client's busy schedule. Lauren, being the founder of Benton County Youth Coalition and working on his PhD at the same time, gave us a little bit more of a scheduling conflict than we first assumed. But we worked around this scheduling conflict by working with Lauren on days that worked with him, and him also allowing us to give us the reins for this project. And that really allowed us to really provide our creative aspect of this project. And we really are happy to let that shine. So we came across some constraints during this project, such as the distance. Benton County is an hour and a half away from Columbia, and that provided a serious handicap on the possibility of us visiting Benton County, and which didn't allow us to gain a greater insight of Benton County, which we were unfortunately not able to gain during this project. And then the communication. We ran across some communication issues with our client and within the group, but we fortunately worked around these constraints by properly scheduling around our client's busy schedule. And then the expected outcomes of our project. We want to have our surveys be useful feedback for Lauren and the Benton County youth. We don't want to just be random surveys that they're not going to implement. And we want to give our client tips on how they can grow their digital marketing, such as their social media and their website, like I previously said, and where they can improve within their social media. And then we want to provide Benton County's youth with some ideas they can do on weekends that don't revolve around drugs. And we want to have these ideas that they will follow through with, ideas that will excite the youth and invite them, the parents, to get involved at the same time. And these ideas that we present to our client can be the make or break for these youth on deciding what they want to do on the weekends. So we put our full effort towards thinking about these activities that will be explained in the following slides.
So yes, this takes us to our project research. So one of the databases that we actually got some of the most of our information actually was the CARES database, which is the Missouri Map Room, which I'll show a little graphic of what that looks like next slide. But yeah, there was just an overwhelming amount of research in different databases within that database. It was just a great tool for us to learn and get to use something like that because I've never used something like that before. So that was great. And it pulled from different resources like the United States Census Bureau, Center for Disease Control, and Department of Health and Human Services, which are all obviously reputable sources. And these were all secondary data sources for us. And then the survey that we created was our only primary data source, which will be given to you. And I'll also show you some of the questions that we have from that. And yeah. And then so this is just a quick little grasp of the Missouri Map Room. And so this one that we had actually pulled up was the binge drinking of adults age 18 and up. And so Benton County, I believe, was like, I think it was 17.8% around there. And it was cool because not only can you pull from, however many sources that it can find, but it's all from like local to federal, all sorts of different surveys that have gone out from these different organizations. And like if you see there on the right, it has geography from county, you can do it to zip code even. It's very in depth of what you can get from that. And you can also have multiple different layers on top of the map at once. So very, very thorough of a resource database. And this here, Data Resource Center for Child and Adolescent Health. This was where we got one of our information sources for the healthcare visit, or the safe neighborhood, sorry, my bad. I feel like that is a very important aspect of children growing up, is if they feel safe in their environment. And so yeah, this is Missouri down there, the bar graph. And I feel like that really just shows you a good representation of what like children feel about their neighborhoods. And yeah, that was a really cool one to see, which I feel like wasn't something I ever thought about growing up, but which I'm very fortunate about. So. Then here's our survey that we have created. And obviously you would have the final say here, Lauren, but yeah, just as a quick little gander at that, some of the questions from just kind of general, starting off there, and then going into more kind of behavioral and kind of a short feedback response time for that one. And we could probably help you with that and like SurveyMonkey, or however you wanted to end up going out about submitting that survey out to the community, or a different high school or middle school level, wherever you kind of feel like that would be most beneficial. Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so project replication. So we're thinking about this of if another business administration 3,500 group ever, is looking about doing this again, could they come in and actually do what we did this time around? And so thinking about that, we had some questions when using some of our different research, and would this piece of information be relevant to our project? With the Missouri Map Room, there was just so much to pick from. It was like, is this even going to be helpful to what we're trying to get at here? So as awesome of a database as that is, you have to have some critical thinking to actually figure out what is going to be beneficial for the group and project. And then thinking about how we use the information also goes into that. And like, what will our client you learn? What will you think about this information that we're presenting to you? And then will it create a positive or negative reaction for you? And I feel like sometimes it's kind of a touchy subject. Sometimes we talk about some of the findings that we had, and I feel like as long as we, use respect and talk to you respectfully about it, I feel like no matter positive or negative, I feel like, yeah, that's just the best way to go about talking to you about some of those findings. So yeah.
Sorry about that. I was muted, but as I was going to say, next up on our presentation was the findings that we got from the research. And as Kendrick just discussed with you, we got a lot of those findings from the CARES database via the Missouri Map Room, which uses a lot of those secondary sources like the CDC and Department of Health and Human Services and things like that to gather their information. And yeah, so with that, we came across some general demographical information as well as some more like shocking statistics. But to go into those, we found that the total population of Benton County was around 19,400, and approximately 17.3% or around 3,300 of these individuals are under the age of 18, which represents the youth and the Benton County Youth Coalition and just youth in general of the community. And along with that, we also found that rates of education are kind of low compared to other places in Missouri. We found that only 13% of individuals in this county have education of a bachelor's degree or higher. We think this might play a role in the next statistic, which is poverty, which is at a staggering 16.3%, pretty high for Missouri, with a pretty low median household income of around 40,000. On top of this, about 17.8% of people above the age of 18 binge drink. And also on top of this, about 68.2% of children feel they are living in a safe neighborhood. As just was talked about, this definitely has an effect on children growing up. And last but not least, we also found from the CARES database that only 18.9% of the youth in this area is taken to their general health care provider for things like checkups and stuff. This brings us to our next segment of the presentation, which goes over the impact that these findings has on the youth of the community. And we found that high poverty rates, poor education, and low median household income all mixed together to have a pretty negative, unfortunate impact on the youth of the community. And these are three of the biggest factors actually in general that cause drug and alcohol abuse in teens and things like that. Another huge factor that determines whether or not people are going to be abusing drugs and alcohol is how much they're exposed to it during their adolescent years. And we found that with 17.8% of people reporting that they binge drink, this is clearly not a very good statistic in terms of the behaviors that the youth are exposed to during their years, and growing up with older brothers or even parents that are drinking like that just has a pretty negative effect. And yeah, so all in all, we found that these findings have a pretty substantial negative impact on the youth, and especially whenever you mix that with only 1/3 of the entire youth feeling as though they live in a safe neighborhood. It affects mental health growing up, and I'm sorry, but we just feel that this is just very negative on the community as a whole. And this is why we are so adamant on trying to make good events and surveys and things like that that positively influence them. So.
Well, many limitations occurred within our project throughout the semester, but due to Lauren, we were able to get through most of it. And a limitation is a rule or circumstance, a restriction of some sort. Two major limitations within our group dealt with the distance between the project site and dealing with COVID throughout the years. We're definitely recovering from COVID right now, but we are still battling through it. First limitation was the distance between the site, which allowed no travel to see Lauren and also the kids and meet them face to face, which I would have loved to create a bondship with these kids and try and make a difference in their lives. And I believe I'm a people person where I could have helped them very well. And I think they need to see where we come from and how we interact with each other. And I think we also come from completely different backgrounds. I mean, Warsaw is a smaller city in Missouri, but we're all from bigger cities, I feel like, and we come from very good backgrounds where we could help them mentally and physically in all certain types of ways. Dealing with COVID really allowed us just to work remotely. And I feel as if a lot's going on with like required vaccines across the country. And these kids had to deal with not being able to interact with each other. They had to deal with they couldn't play their first varsity game, or they couldn't play their first play at the school, or their first like graduation as a class, which resulted in these kids going home and binge drinking or getting into drugs and messing with their mentality, where they become sheltered through using social media and Twitter and all sorts of that stuff. And I believe our group can help send out surveys and maybe get them to interact again, because as you know, it's been going on for 2 years with this COVID, and kids don't even feel as if they can talk to people anymore because they're just so sheltered. And these surveys should be able to help them and continue to make them better people. Growing from these limitations as a group, we had a lot of setbacks, but we came together. Being at the University of Missouri, we're a well put together university, I believe, and we had a lot of creativity, and we thought outside the box. It created a better bond within our group, and I think we learned a lot from each other. And our group led to an overall success as a whole. And yeah. I think this might be you, Tyler.
So some suggestions we had was a survey. This is a great source of information that you can use. It's something that statistically you look at and you can find kind of the outliers or something that kind of sticks out to you, something of that sort. This will help you better understand the needs of the community, kind of the bigger issues that maybe the survey will show and kind of stick out to you. And then building from this survey, this could allow you to kind of create a seminar or a certain event that sticks out to most people or kind of pinpoints an issue in the community. So for some recommendations now, I know when we first started, you said 3 things you'd really like for us to work on was the website. You said you used the website when you created it, so you updated it the time you made it, and that was about it. Also your social media, like you said, you had Instagram and Facebook. So we thought maybe branch out a little bit more on those, but to be specific with the website, I thought overall it just needed a new update, kind of more of a teenage or kid-friendly look to it, kind of something that grabs them or reaches them into, kind of search through the website. A big thing I would add to the website is tabs. Put a tab kind of over your history and kind of how you're founded, things of that sort. Have another tab where it puts all like the head liaison, your contact information, kind of information of people if they need to contact, it's right there for them to use. And then another tab I would add to that is a calendar. This is kind of the easiest way for people to find out new events, maybe service, Bible studies, things of that sort, where if they really need to find a way to get involved, it's just right there, a click of a button, and they can, see everything for a couple weeks out. Regarding your social media, I thought Instagram and Facebook is a great start, but why not broaden your horizon a little bit more? It doesn't hurt, if anything. It gives you a larger target audience, more people can see it, things of that sort. Also, A big thing we thought with the social media was in your bio, put key information, things that you think is vital for people, and then put the website URL. It's just easy. It's the easiest way for people to one click of a button and kind of see what all the coalition is about and what you guys represent. And then regarding your recommendations for events, you kind of had some guidelines you thought were smart for these events. Easy access. You don't want something out of the county, farther away. As we said, finances are sometimes an issue. So driving long distances is a good excuse for some people. So that's why we also thought it'd be low cost. That would be a great aspect of it. Another way is you wanted to get to know parents and guardians. You felt as if you saw a lot of faces, but you didn't really know the person behind those faces. So I thought of coming up with events for only parents for an easy way for you to interact, kind of get to know how people are being raised and who's raising them. And then lastly, you wanted events only for teenagers, something that will really attract them and get them to do alternatives to their harmful actions right now. So for some of those events for parents, we thought of like an ice cream social. You could do like a nacho night, something easy, simple that you can get, a large amount of. But this is kind of where all different clubs can come out. They can learn more, hear more about the coalition, kind of what you represent, your background, important information regarding that. This is also a way for you can bring their kids as well. It's just kind of a way to meet both the parents and kids, understand, kind of their interests, things of that sort, and give the kid and parents kind of like interesting clubs or activities that they can do during the day in their free time as a substitute for drugs and alcohol. Another one would be like trivia night. This would be kind of parents only. You can do like kind of older topics, things of that sort. That will really help, parents meet parents, parents interact, but also you can walk around, meet new people, and just meet new faces. Lastly, another event I thought was pretty important was you could do a dad's only dinner or mom's only dinner. This is kind of like the guys get to hang out with the guys and, the moms get to meet the moms, things of that sort. So I thought that was pretty important. And then next for the event options for the youth, I thought of both ways. You can go outside and inside as things are getting much colder. Kids aren't going to want to be outside as much. So you got to kind of adapt to that and figure for more indoor and fun things. So all of these can be inside of a gym. And then like silly Olympics and kickball can be outside. So it's pretty flexible with my thought process behind this. So silly Olympics is kind of just, you come up with a bunch of different games and ideas that are really interesting and important, but also very fun. Things like a 3-point contest or a race, a relay race, or, kind of different activities, things that everyone finds interesting. Then a trivia night, this can be more kind of like, Disney movie night. This is more of your younger age group. Something that if they're not super interactive, this will kind of help them become interactive through their passion, kind of things that they're interested in, like Disney or like Pixar, things of that sort. And then like mixers, just you kind of play music, everyone hangs out in a gym and talks, moves around, things of that sort. And then more of your competitive side, older class, kickball and dodgeball. At the end of the day, really what I'm trying to do and what we're all trying to do is figure out events that is a good substitute that intrigues kids to kind of change their habits and kind of change their routine.
So for the conclusion, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about a few bullet points for the 4 things you see over here on the right, just to kind of wrap it up. for us here today. So we're going to start on the executive summary / project overview, and we move into the research and findings, limitation and growth from limitations, and then just recap those suggestions and recommendations, the same order that the presentation was given originally. So like we stated in the beginning, the 3 project goals for this group were the website, updating that, making sure it's a little more modernized. I think the thought process behind that is that the website is kind of the first impression that people see of the coalition. And I think everyone knows how important a good first impression is. So that's going to be a great start for the coalition if we can get that website modernized. Then the surveys, I think, this is probably the most vital part of the research that we did and our findings and stuff, because this is kind of an ongoing database that you all can use going forward. And as people's answers will change on different subjects from year to year. You could do this at a survey every year or whatnot. But yeah, that'll probably be one of the most important takeaways from this project. And then lastly, the events, as Tyler just went over, we feel like we have some pretty strong recommendations on that front. That organizational structure that John talked about a little bit, of making sure that everyone had a role, was really helpful. I think I agree with him on that. Everyone kind of knew their responsibility and was able to take care of business to make this kind of a well-rounded project. And then I think I just wanted to touch a little bit on the recent grant that you all received and how that will affect the use of our project. I think the last time we spoke that you all were able to hire a full-time liaison, which I think will help, implement some of the strategies that we've given to the coalition through this project. And I think it'll just be a great thing for you guys overall. So I'm excited about that. And then the findings, like Chase talked about, the high rates of binge drinking and poverty, along with the low medical checkup rates, kind of affect the community negatively. But as he mentioned, this is why we were so adamant on how can we help make change in the community, and what are some things that we can add to the coalition to help you guys out. And then finding our data using the CARES database is really helpful. We knew we could trust that data and, really have a strong background knowledge of what the Benton County was really like. The limitations, as Luke was talking about earlier, really helped us grow as a team. I feel like a lot of us had a lot in common coming into our project, but we were able to grow through this project because of, certain limitations and stuff. Seeing each other on campus recently has been kind of nice. Been able to talk about our project in person, stuff like that. And those limitations being distance and COVID. COVID eventually will be one that will go away, which will help with the repeatability of our project, as we were talking about earlier. But the distance is always something that can be made up through Zoom, which is one of the great things that COVID actually brought us. So, and then lastly, the big recommendations and suggestions, like I said earlier, I would continue to use those surveys and the answers you get from those just to see the updated mindset of the community, what people are thinking and stuff like that. The tabs on the website that Tyler was talking about make it easier for people to find information. If you can click once or twice and really find like a detailed paragraph or two about what's going on, I think people would really enjoy that. Linking social media posts and just the social media accounts on the website will also help. So not only linking the website on the social media, but the other way as well. That'll help get more traffic onto the website. And then the events for the kids and adults, we feel are pretty strong and should attempt to be organized at some point. Don't have to be in the near future. And then any tweaks that you think you see fit to make to those events would probably be a good idea. So that's kind of a overall wrap up of our project. And yeah.
And so to really finish this off, as a group, Lauren, we would just like to take a moment to say thank you for all the effort you put into your community, as well as all the help you've given us. it truly is inspiring to see this kind of effort from a single individual, and it is something that we as a group can only hope to have as we continue to grow and become more aware of the world we live in and the problems it faces. I'm sure my group members would agree with me when I say that this experience has been eye-opening for me, in the sense that I did not know that this was such a big issue facing the youth in today's society. From where I grew up, I did not see this much up until really my senior year, and you know, to see all this research and everything that's going on, it really proves that this is a massive effect on children, and it's creating problems in their own lives and in the community around them. And so we hope our findings, our ideas that we've generated, have an effect on these children in any way possible. And this project has made us far more aware of the world we are in, and we hope to be a part of the group that helps end this problem, even after this project has concluded. So once again, a massive thank you to you, Lauren, and we wish you the best of luck in your effort to create change in not only your community, but over time in the and society as a whole. And with that, do you have any questions for us?
Oh, I think you guys did just an awesome job in giving us what we had asked for and coming together to do that. And I think that was that it just demonstrated your leadership skills and your ability to delegate across your group. I think that shows a lot of promise for you guys in the future and in your business endeavors. I think it's great. We appreciate BCYC appreciates all of your effort, and we're going to take these recommendations and hopefully run with them. You know, we're poised now to be in a position to do that with our full-time employee who's trying to make connections within the community. And I think this is going to give us a lot to think about, as well as you've pointed us in the right direction with creating surveys as well as places to find data. And so we thank you very much for all of your effort.
Of course, yeah, it's been an awesome experience. So yeah, again, thank you. Wish you the best of luck. Have a fantastic Christmas break, and with that, yeah, thank you once again.
Well, thank you, and looking forward to you. If you can send me the PowerPoint, that'd be great. And your final report.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I can send you the PowerPoint if you'd like. I was just about to say that. So I'll go ahead and send that your way.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks,
Awesome.
Lauren.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Good one, Lauren.
Thank you all. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Perfect. Grant, if you want to close the recording.